If I had to start my coaching business again in 2026 with no audience, no clients, no reputation, there are 5 things I would focus on immediately. Most of them are simple, and no, simple doesn't always equal easy. And one of them is a thing that coaches avoid for far too long. So let's get started about what actually leads to clients. I'm Jo Lott. Welcome to Women in the Coaching Arena. I am an ICF accredited mentor and coach, and over the past 4 or 5 years, I have helped more than 200 qualified coaches through my program, The Business of Coaching, and hundreds more in masterminds and other events that I run. And in this episode, I want to share with you what I wish someone would have shared with me all of those years ago, and what I would actually do if I was starting again today. When I first started my business, I spent a lot of time on things that felt productive, more coach training to ensure that I could handle every situation that could possibly come up, tons of free webinars, 5-day challenges, all sorts of shiny objects, branding colors, all of these things that I thought would make or break my business. I even published a book in my first year of business because, of course, I thought I needed to also be a published author. I would literally fill an A4 pad of notes every single week with all of the stuff I was learning, yet I wasn't really implementing it. Looking back, it felt productive, but it wasn't really moving my business forward. And while some of it was useful, a lot of it really delayed the work that you really need to do to build your business, which, and wait for it, is connecting with real human beings and helping them to solve actual problems that they have in their life. So if I was starting again now, I would simplify things massively and focus on these 5 things. So number 1, getting really specific about who I help and, more importantly, the problem that I solve. So not selling coaching sessions, not selling the power of coaching, not helping people to feel better and more connected within themselves. A real actual problem that people are laying in bed wanting to try and solve. For example, that might be, I need to get a job. I need to speak up in meetings. I need to lead my team confidently. I need to know how to have difficult conversations. All of those actual tangible problems that many of us have in our life. So if you can't explain your I help statement in one clear sentence, then you're not ready to market your business yet. And if you are marketing without this clarity, you will start to soon notice that marketing is really, really exhausting. And the best thing is, when this becomes clear, marketing and everything you do in your business becomes so much easier because you actually know who you're speaking to and the types of things that you want to share with those people. The second thing I would do is create a simple offer. Not 6 sessions, not 3 months, come for coaching, but a really, really clear offer that talks about the actual result that someone might get if they worked with you. Often it's good to start with something like a 3-month coaching relationship because it's low cost enough for people to say yes. It's also low cost on time enough for people to say yes. And the really clear thing, though, is not the 3-month engagement. The key thing here is that the outcome is clear, and you can't create a great offer unless you actually know your ideal client. So, for example, that might be helping someone move from feeling stuck in their career to confidently securing a new role. People need to understand what they're moving towards and to trust that you know how to get them there. My biggest learning of this was when I first started my business and I said to a friend, come to coaching, it can change your life. and she was completely lacking in confidence. She really needed to get a new job, but she wasn't applying for those jobs because she was lacking in confidence. And she literally turned around and said to me, I haven't got time for that. It sounds really nice, but I need to focus on getting a job. And at the time, I was a career coach, so I could have easily said to her, come work with me. I will be able to help you get a job. And in that first conversation, the confidence would have come up, but what her actual front door priority is to get a new job. So it's just the same when you are selling coaching. We need to really think about what is their front of mind problem. What do they really want to work on? The third thing I would do is start conversations immediately. This is what I put off for a really long time. When I left my previous employers, I wanted nothing more to do with them ever again. The last thing that I wanted to do was tell anybody that I knew from my previous employment and maybe friends, family, all of those people, that I had transitioned into a coaching business. I don't know really why that was the case. I think it was probably because I hadn't transitioned in my identity to being a coach yet. So I just couldn't get those words out that I was an executive coach, which is what I initially trained for. And this is the same pattern I see time and time again with my clients. And like I say, I get it because I did exactly the same. But all I know is the moment that I overcame that fear, contacted my old employer, I had a £10,000 contract at the end of that 30-minute conversation. So all I know is it's worth it. Hindsight is an amazing thing. And that's why I'm so keen for you to take this scary but really necessary step. But what I know is most of the time you will want to do your website, do your branding, maybe hide behind social media once you start getting the courage for that, rather than focus on real conversations. So if you take those people with you on that journey, tell them that you have just trained, tell them you're trying to figure out who you're going to be helping, take them on that journey with you, and they will want to support you. It's completely different from what many coaches do and what I probably did as well, which is the big launch post of like, hey, everybody, really excited to have launched my business. And it's so out of the blue. And you maybe haven't taken them on those early steps for them to really want to back you and support you. So don't wait for the shiny website before you share your big launch post. Get out there and take people on those tiny, tiny steps with you. Another thing I know often is that it can feel really lonely when you start your business and maybe you put posts out, maybe you're not supported by your friends and family or other people on LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever social media platform you're doing. And I often think about paying into the value bank, in other words, providing value for others, until you eventually have paid in enough to be paid in return. So if you aren't being supported on social media, if you aren't being supported in your business, then think about how you can do things for others to support them, to eventually start to be able to articulate your expertise and for them to start seeing you as the person who solves problems. So most coaching business begin with those conversations long before you need to begin with marketing strategies. The fourth thing I would do is prioritize getting proof in your business. This has completely changed the game for me in my business and is an absolute priority in everything I do. So wow those first few clients to get real results in their life, because those results will lead to them growing their confidence, but also you growing your confidence. You will then maybe be able to get case studies and testimonials, and eventually word of mouth referrals as well. Those things are far more powerful than a social media post. So whilst I'm not saying we don't need to do social media, I am saying that this is a priority. So don't put off the important things, which is gaining case studies, helping your clients in order to quickly get a social post out, the thing that is going to get you the impact that you want is getting those case studies. And I say case study deliberately versus testimonial because actually no one cares what a great listener you are, what great questions that you ask. What they really care about is the journey that someone has been on with you. So how did they feel before? What was helpful? And how do they feel now? So prioritize that ideal client's journey versus asking for a testimonial about you. The fifth thing I would do is build your visibility in one place. You don't need to show up everywhere. You need to choose based on your strengths and what you enjoy. So everyone always says, how do I balance my time? It's about really thinking, do you like doing in the moment stories? If so, maybe Instagram is your place. Do you love video? Then maybe TikTok or something is your place. Or do you like the more professional setting? And if so, maybe LinkedIn is your place. And that's just social media. Don't get me wrong, there is so much more to business than just social media, but really think about your strengths here. So for me, that is generally LinkedIn. That has been my one core platform, and I have used it in executive coaching, career coaching, and business coaching to build my business. And whilst I schedule to Instagram, it's just not my core platform. I'm not very good at remembering to take photos. I have luckily friends who, whenever we go out, will remember to take those photos because I will always come home with absolutely no record of the evening at all. So that's why Instagram has not really been my priority yet. That's not saying it will never be, but at this stage, LinkedIn has really suited my needs and my preferences. I also have young kids, so I have a 4-hour working day. So I have never prioritized networking in my business because I just don't have time to get somewhere, spend all day doing networking, and the times and the travel. It was just not something that I prioritized with my life. For you, that might be really different. Like I say, I have had clients that have succeeded on TikTok who've always loved video. I have had other clients do amazing on Instagram because they are really creative and they just love creating reels and different stories. And I've also had people be successful with no social media at all, just in-person networking. Others love writing, maybe use Substack. So it's really down to you and your choices. Don't convince yourself there's one right place for you to grow your business. It's really about you building that consistency and eventually building that recognition and relationships over time. That recognition is often what will eventually bring you all of the opportunities that you want. And it's worth saying at this point that generally people need a lot more than one social media post to purchase from you. And this is often a big wake-up call when people start their business and they think that one launch post is going to change everything. So just know that it often takes many, many times of seeing your name in their feed, being helped, maybe take tiny, tiny steps towards you through those posts, maybe through podcasts, through your emails, through different things that you do to really get to know you enough to buy from you. This is back to step one. This is why those conversations are really important in the early days with people that you know, because you can sign those clients while you are building this trust that will eventually build your long-term business. And again, this is all said from experience because when I started, I tried to do LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, all sorts of things, and didn't realize that I was not a social media agency. So choose your one platform. Trying to be everywhere usually leads to burnout. If you are earlier on in your coaching business, I know that it feels like you need to do everything. You don't. You just need a few things that work really well for you. Knowing exactly who you're selling to, knowing exactly what problem that you solve, knowing exactly what people can purchase from you, and then real conversations, proof and building that consistent visibility in your business. If you are a qualified coach building your business and you would like a simple way to stay focused on the things that really move your business forward, I have a 2026 Coaches Planner. It will help you with every single step of building your business and keeping on track throughout the year. So you will find the link to that in the show notes or in the description below. And like I say at the end of every episode, trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seed.